The dark water looks foul, and it reeks of something even fouler. You strongly suspect that it may be tainted by poison. A tree lies half submerged, having long ago succumbed to the poisonous waters of the swamp. Large, gnarled It is too heavy. These trees would not be easy to climb, and you have an uneasy feeling that they might not be as passive as they appear. Bent and twisted trees coil their way upward. Over time, their natural forms have been horrifically perverted by the dark influence that saturates this dismal mire. The dark water looks foul, and it reeks of You feel the poisonous water seeping into your skin. Its potency takes effect immediately, and you perish within seconds. The swamp continues further, in a direction you are no longer certain of. This is a dreary, oppressive swamp. Very little light manages to filter in through the thick canopy-like leaves from above. You feel your sense of direction waver, and you are no longer certain of your bearings. This is a very
Hello, who are you?
My name is Grab. What is yours?
Possum. That is what my grandma calls me. She is not at all well these days. I was collecting flowers for her, but now I cannot anymore.
Why is that?
My basket is missing. I looked anywhere for it. It must be around here somewhere.
I will keep my eye out for it.
Thank you, Graham.
You have no desire to pick flowers. Perhaps when you have the time to relax and contemplate life in general, you'll be able to afford such a pastime. What do you want to do? Pick her up and take her back home with you? She belongs here, Graham. Besides, you're a king, not a kidnapper. Uprooting the Don't. The tree. You like the uprooting the uproot. You have no. It feels. Your attempts at. There's nothing. There are no. There are. There is not a great deal to do with a tiny island. There is nothing to do with it, actually. You push the bush. You're not as in. You should stand in the water. You walk into position and try to catch the baby bird. Though you are quick, the small bird is quicker. It darts along the water out of your reach. You will not be able to catch it with your bare hands. You have come upon a quick little dwarf. Dwarves have a bad reputation for stealing treasure. Be careful. Oh no, you've been caught in a trap. Whoever set it will probably return soon.
Ah, marvelous! What a catch! I feel like a bit of target practice.
There are safer ways to trigger a trap, or didn't you notice it?
Wow. That was impressive.
You saw black glow.
Hello? Who are you?
My name is Graham.
Hush.
Why? I will. I was wondering, could you tell me anything about this land?
You mean Kalima? There is a town to the northeast, and a church not far south of that. Grandma and I live in a house near the beach. You should not enter the swamp to the north. It is said to be influenced by magic. Many have easily lost their way in there, and finding your way out again is difficult.
Thank you, Possum. Is there any way at all through this swamp?
I do not know, but I did see someone walking out of there not long ago. He was writing something in a book as he walked.
Who was that?
A monk from the church.
You mentioned that your grandma is not well. What ails her?
I'm not sure, but I think it gives her sad dreams. While she sleeps, sometimes she talks out loud. Sometimes I listen to her. "No, do not leave me," she says. At first, I thought she was speaking to me. I would go over to her, but she would not notice me. Then I realized it was a dream. I think she misses the person she talks to in her sleep. And then there's the scary dreams.
You mentioned that your grandma had scary dreams. What are these dreams about?
Bats.
Bats?
Yes, in her sleep, she screams with fright, as if a bat is chasing her, or she's being hurt by one. Then she'll say something like, "Blue light is the bat's true bane," over and over.
Blue light? What does she mean?
I have asked her this, but she just shakes her head and will not speak of it.
Thank you, Possum. I wish your grandma a swift recovery.
Thank you, Graham. I will speak of you to her.
You have no. As you have no. You have run into an. As you pick up the gold coins, they suddenly turn dark. Now they resemble ordinary metal. Wait a minute. This isn't gold. It's fool's gold. The gold has now gone. The shiny, beautiful. The diamond and sapphire earrings are very delicate. Each earring has a large sapphire surrounded by glittering diamonds. It is a lemon. It's juice. It appears to be an ordinary fence picket. Its pointed end reminds you of a stake. The head of the mallet is made of iron. This is the sword of the first king of Daventry. It dates back almost 1,000 years and has been passed down from king to king since that time. Try not to damage it. A magnificent clear crystal is embedded within its hilt. The tall trees of the forest a stab in the dark, a stab in the light, same effect. You have just discovered the gravity. As you have run in. Everything feels fine. It probably feels like any other part. You can walk the path you have chosen. Incredible. The door you have discovered has taken on the appearance of a face. It is silent, however, and almost seems to be waiting for something.
Greetings. I am King Graham of Daventry. Would you by any chance know of the way to a strange island on which stands a quartz tower in which a beautiful woman is being held captive?
You feel more than a little foolish. Surely a door, even one with a face, would neither hear nor understand you.
I am the door of destiny. I am sought out by many, found by few and opened by none so far. For indeed, only once can I be opened. Such is the magic that I am. Through me will you find the destiny you seek, if you can but perform a task.
Anything!
You feel intense exuberance that you have come so close to your goal in such a short time.
You must bring me the gems of nature.
I beg your pardon?
The stone door rumbles from deep within. For a time, it says nothing. And then...
Gems of 3 I ask of thee to fetch, collect, and bring to me. In water shall you find the first, though not the type to quench your thirst. Spy the second, high in the sky. With wings or no, thou still must fly. Through swampy mire, so it is heard, in lone dark castle lies the third. Should you succeed, my noble king, to your fair maiden I will bring. I warn you though, you should beware, a danger cloaked awaits you there.
Without warning, the stony face falls silent. As you watch, it gradually smooths out to become the mountainside face once more. You notice that, within the door, 3 shallow indentations have sunk into the rock's surface. Presumably, the 3 gems of nature must fit here. Now all you have to do is find them. How did that poem go again? Nothing happens. Nothing. The door of death. The paper is torn and dirty. It looks like a flyer of some sort. You smooth out the torn and tattered paper and read, "Curios I have, to the town do come, awaiting I am." The stump holds. There's no. The fool's gold again shines the instant the coins leave your hand. Leave the fool's gold in the fountain for now. You just might be onto something.
Three coins in the fountain.
What? Let me see.
Like a little Yoink Micro.
My baby! Thank you,
Graham.
thank you, Graham. Here, take this. Maybe this useless trinket ahead of this will be of some use to you. Serves you right for not enabling me to protect my kids.
The pumpkin hands you a gold brooch with a beautiful blue sapphire. That has. You can't. The color of the brooch clashes with your outfit. Better leave it off.
Because Graham is known for his fashion sense.
It is a simple clay bowl. The brooch has an enormous sapphire encircled by two.
Is there anything more I can do for you?
Me thirsty, Mama.
Now that you mention it, my baby is feeling a bit poorly. After all, living in a bowl ain't too good for your health, you know.
No, I did not know that. What would make your baby feel better?
Fresh water, naturally.
Of course.
Not too sweet, though. In fact, the more bitter the better. My children are very particular about what they drink.
I will see what I can do.
Repressing the urge to burn. You consider that this water might be fresh enough to drink, but then decide that more than a few animals might have bathed in it. You squeeze the lid. You might want to add something else to the bowl first. You have come upon a You consider that this water might You fill the bowl with the fresh spring water. After using your sword to cut the lemon's surface, you squeeze some of its juice into the bowl. Then you discard the lemon. You pour the bitter water over the baby pumpkin. It seems to like that.
Thank you again, Graham. Here, take this.
The pumpkin reaches into her head and pulls out a candle, which she then hands to you.
That thing has been jammed in my head for as long as I can remember. I know it ain't much, but maybe you'll find some use for it.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. Besides, it's really hard for me to sleep with that thing lit up inside my head all night. A word of warning. Hagatha has been talking about you. I heard her mention your name while she was muttering to herself. She does that when she's inspected her valuables. Anyway, I'd stay clear out of her way if I were you.
I appreciate the advice. Will Hagatha not be angered when she discovers you've given your candle away?
What's she gonna do? Turn me into a pumpkin?
Good point.
Besides, I could just blame the dwarf. He's earned himself a bad reputation from the day he moved here. Pity no one can catch him, not even Hagatha.
The candle is unlit. The door appears to be barred from the inside. There's no There's n-
Greetings again, merchant.
Yes, many greetings. Need you have now for my wares of great specialty?
What wares do you sell, good merchant?
For yourself, behold them.
You look over the merchant's wares of great specialty and quickly reevaluate them as junk.
You seem to have quite a selection of, well, quite a selection.
A keen eye have you. In an item or two provoke interest, I might?
A daunting task. Rather, by all means.
This I have.
You appraise the object he holds up to you. It is a simple shell, intricately fashioned into the shape of a cone. The workmanship is unlike anything you have ever seen.
Fascinating. Where did you find such a thing?
Oh, old it is. From ancient times descends. Valuable, without question. Royal property, former, to be sure.
You consider his story. Then you begin wondering which beach he found it on.
If I were to, say, purchase the shell, what would it cost?
A trifle would you expend. 7 golds.
I fear that I did not bring any money.
Curiosity, I find, in one who travels but with nothing to barter brings.
Good point.
Good merchant, does this interest you?
Thanking you, but no.
Is this yours?
Ah, keen eyes you have. For that, a reward shall you receive.
And that would be?
The pleasure you will have in doing business with me.
Might you trade the shell comb for something?
The merchant ponders over this for a moment.
Of value, many things are. Of fancy, only one I have.
And that is?
Pearls.
Would you be interested in this pearl?
Indeed, I would. In return, the shell I present to you. May you be always groomed well.
The merchant grabs the pearl and tosses the shell comb to you. Then he saunters off. History will decide how greatly you were just swindled.
Oh, what a beauty. This will be worth a fortune back home.
How ingenious! It's a shell which has been intricately fashioned into something resembling a comb. You admire the level of art. This horse is only interested in eating those flowers. You'd never speak to a horse, of course. The horse The door is the sun's position in the sky indicates it is currently midday. The owner must not be an early riser. The door is locked. The sun's position. You need to get closer. You are You need to get. You need. You can't quite get your. Calling through the door to the room within would not appear very dignified. The librarian seems... The librarian... Perhaps you should leave locating books to the librarian. Don't worry, the library is not going to go anywhere. The town library of Kalima is not much more than a room packed full of books. You would imagine there to be quite a lot of interesting reading to be done here, if only you had the time to do it. You have no... The library... There's not a lot going on in that direction that would warrant your attention. As refresh... The town gives you... The town... You have entered the town of two buildings. It's just... The people of Kalima lead busy lives, calling through the door to... There's no... Maybe you should do something to help the occupant first. There's no... The haystack, or rather whoever or what... You like the plot. You have come upon a quick little dwarf. Dwarves have a bad reputation for stealing treasure. Be careful. Brandishing your sword might make you appear an accomplished fighter, but you will not make many friends by being careless. The dwarf brandishing... You rap on the tree. You won't. You'll need to walk around. You'll need to walk around the other side of the house to do that. You attempt to open the door, but find it is locked. You think you can hear the sound of... You consider calling out to the house's occupant through the door, but... The crates do not... A net has been caught around one of the pier's pylons. You can't reach the net. You need You untangle the net from the pylon and take it with you. A length of rope lies next. You went to You have no The rope is old, worn, and weathered. The fishing net is fashioned from a material that is unfamiliar to you. It is well made. You walk into position. You throw the net over the pond, and the baby bird is caught unharmed. It is a baby bird, and not a terribly pretty one at that. You have run into an... It feels... Catching butterflies is a... You release the little bird into the pond. You pick up the white feather and put it carefully away. It is a swan feather of the purest white you have ever seen. There's no need to... There's no... The door is the sun's position in the sky indicates that you have entered the town of Kaltubil. The town gives you peer in. Nothing. You have reached the eastern. An old stump juts out of the stump. There's no reason. You take the basket. You hand the basket to Possum.
Thank you, kind sir. Please take this flower. I'm afraid it's all I have to give you.
It is more than enough. I notice that you have picked only yellow flowers.
Of course. Is it not customary for one to pick yellow flowers for another who is gravely ill?
Certainly it is. I'm sorry to hear about your grandma, Possum.
Thank you. Goodbye.
The yellow flower is very pretty, but has a sickly smell. It is a human skull with a radiant blue stone wedged into its eye socket. This guy was decapitated long ago. As you have, that has no effect on the skull. There's no reason to use that with the bat symbol. You spend a few minutes talking to the bat symbol. After a while, you decide the conversation has become a little one-sided, and you politely excuse yourself. He's way past talking. Brandishing your sword might make you appear an accomplice. The dark water looks large. You can't. You are not into those tie-up games. Wait until you get home before tending to your itching green thumb. As you walk towards the mermaid, she tenses suddenly. Clearly, while she finds you to be a somewhat interesting and perhaps amusing creature, she still does not trust you in the slightest. You say a few words to the mermaid. It quickly becomes apparent. You hold out the shell comb in your hand. Clear recognition shines from the mermaid's delicate features. She hesitates a moment, then cautiously extends her arm, hands open expectantly. You gently place the shell comb in her palm. The mermaid examines it and smiles. She removes an opal necklace from around her neck and hands it to you. After a moment of admiring her once lost possession, she looks at you with anticipation. You attempt to charade the act of going underwater to the mermaid. She regards you with a look of puzzlement. Just when the whole demonstration becomes too embarrassing to continue, she suddenly dives into the sea and swims right up to you. After giving you a rather intense kiss, the mermaid dives under the water again. You wonder where she has disappeared to. Then suddenly, you feel a pulling at your legs. The mermaid holds on to you, keeping you from resurfacing. You struggle instinctively while trying to hold your breath, but she will not let go. You know you are going to black out soon. Wait a minute, you're still breathing. How can this be? Could it have been the mermaid's kiss? Speaking of which, where has she gone to this time?